Necrobarista is a visual novel like no other. In eschewing conventions of the niche genre, adopting a hyper-stylized cinematic presentation, Necrobarista stands out from a crowded market. This supernatural ode to Melbourne is a touching story of friendship, moving on, and artisanal beverages. Originating as the experimental Project Ven back in 2015, Necrobarista is Melbourne studio Route 59 Games' evolution of the visual novel genre. Set in The Terminal, a fictional cafe located in Melbourne suburb Carlton, paranormal activities are a regular occurrence. Patrons of The Terminal include the living and the newly deceased. For the dead, The Terminal offers a final comfort stop before stepping into whatever awaits them in the afterlife. However, time spent in limbo must be kept in check, lest the Council of Death come to collect their debt. As is standard fare for the genre, Necrobarista is largely hands-off from a gameplay perspective. Its story consists of episodes where your only required input is to simply tap enter to progress. In between episodes, you can freely roam the terminal from a first-person perspective, learning more about its inhabitants along the way. However, Necrobarista is not a game you play to show off your skill. It's a game you sit back and appreciate at a leisurely pace, like your favourite brew. Necrobarista's immediate draw card is its phenomenally dazzling art direction and cinematography, whereas many visual novels rely on predominantly static imagery and text to convey stories. This ain't one of them. In taking graphical inspiration from games such as Guilty Gear Xrd, Breath of the Wild, and the Persona series, Necrobarista's eternally charming characters and environments positively crackle with personality. Additionally, every inch of screen real estate is delicately considered to create stunning compositions. While Necrobarista retains the text-based nature of visual novels, the way in which it uses motion to inject life into every scene is nothing short of mesmerising necromancy. What feels like nearly every line of dialogue is accompanied by a new camera angle to great effect, highlighting character nuances and adding dramatic flair to the scene. Each shot is lovingly framed, with the text occupying negative space effectively to convey subtext, alongside other stylistic flourishes. I would routinely leave lines of dialogue sit on the screen well after reading, just to be led by a slow tracking shot, let Kevin Penkin's piano soundtrack wash over me, and soak in the gorgeous mise-en-scène. Naturally, a visual novel is only as good as its writing, an area Necrobarista shines in. Here, the writing is witty, poignant, and often deeply relatable. Without being overbearing, Necrobarista nails its Australian caricatures, with natural uses of mate, casual slang, plus the correct spelling of arse. Although there is an overarching narrative, this is primarily a game about character, where heartfelt moments can swiftly pivot to taking the piss out of each other, and then quirky pop culture references in the same breath. What's refreshing about Necrobarista's narrative is how it isn't solely about drama, or even necromancy for that matter. It's simply about being, offering plenty of thought-provoking themes to meditate on what it means to be alive, how you choose to spend your time, and how you treat yourself and others. Necrobarista's only real misstep is in its memory system. Memories constitute an arbitrary unlock system that hints at leading to something bigger but never eventuates. While accumulating points by selecting highlighted words during episodes leads to accessing well-written short stories, it doesn't tangibly add to the core narrative. I would have preferred to read the short stories at my own pace instead of worrying about racking up enough points to unlock them. Thankfully, you're eventually able to do so. In the meantime, it's best to treat the word selection segments as a fun sort of Rorschach test. One thing's for certain, Necrobarista sets a new standard in production value for visual novels to follow. Also to be commended is that while there's plenty of anime and visual novel influences on display, none of the worn tropes are. There's no questionable fan service, no overwrought exposition, but plenty of the anime sense of style. Necrobarista's cinematic presentation leaves a legacy for others to emulate, elevating the genre as a whole. Ultimately, the hyper-stylish visual novel Necrobarista is a stellar debut from Melbourne's Route 59 Games, one that succeeds in pushing the artistic boundaries of the medium and has me eagerly anticipating what's next for the studio. Brew your favourite cuppa and have a go, mate.